Hey everybody, and welcome back to my channel. I am your girl Molinda Jae here, and I just want to come on with you all and do my review of the Escape. Well, yes, the Queens and R&B episode 4, I want to say. But y'all get my drift. The next episode of the Queens of R&B with SWV and Escape. So yes, I got a chance finally to review it because I have other things going on in the background. Okay, so of course there's a scene with Taj and Coco going to the gym, working out, and talking about what had transpired like 5 days prior, and Candy mentioning the billing process of the show, as well as suggesting that Escape should headline the show, and SWV was like, heck no, to the no. Yeah, SWV had that type of energy going on. They felt like, well, the original agenda was to co-headline. So I can say in this scenario here is that both of them should still co-headline and figure out how to get the billing process done so all of them can get an equal amount. Because if SWV is saying, well, we was brought up the idea was brought to us that we should have this big show together since to mark the 30-day not the 30-day but the 30th anniversary of being in the business as a girl group, then so be it. Okay, so let it be the co-headlining show and keep it as that. The next scene was at Lily's house, and the manager was meeting over. The manager Dan had came over, and I believe Lily had invited him so she could give him a sneak peek of her erotica book, and because she had mentioned that it's important to have multiple streams of income, and I couldn't agree with her more, because when something falls short, always have a backup plan, no matter what the circumstances, no matter if you're feeling like you're comfortable where you are, is nothing wrong with still being prepared. So I do like Lily. I really love Lily in her way of thinking of things, possibly because of all the things that she had endured when SWV had broken up. So I have to salute to Lily on bringing about the concern or the reasoning of having multiple streams of income. Don't be so comfortable where you at to think you're not above reproach of going through some hardship. Next scene is with, Taj and Tamika meeting with each other at a restaurant, and they were talking about, well, Tamika, she, as Candy has said on her Speak On It, I did watch that too before I watched the episode because I thought the episode was gonna come out on Wednesday, so I was like, okay, let me just go ahead and watch Candy Speak On It while I wait on Bravo for it to be available on demand. But it became available after, you have to give it 24 hours before you go back and watch it on demand. But otherwise, back to the review. Taj had mentioned, Taj and Tamika was speaking about the creative aspects, like the production, what the stage is going to look like, because on Candy Speak On It, she said Tamika is exploring the creative directive portion of show development, and because before then she didn't necessarily have a voice, and back then whenever you're trying to make it out there, you don't necessarily have creative control. So now she is able to step into the space of providing her creative juices to the what the show could be looking like, and then still be receptive and asking people for their feedback. What other things should they include in the setup and the production stuff? I congratulate Tamika into coming into her own of stepping outside the box, or just better yet, amplifying your voice So to contribute to this experience that is going on with SWV and Xscape. And Taj had mentioned in regards to Tamika just giving her just a rough draft on what the production could look like. Then that's when Taj had mentioned, well, you remember the Spice Girls? I love the Spice Girls because they had their own identity and individuality, but still were in a group together. And I was like, Tal, you like the Spice Girls? Love the Spice Girls, okay? I had the DVD, used to watch it on repeat and everything. Spice Girls, that was one of my favorite girl groups back in the day as a youngin'. So me and Taj, we here. But other than that, I do like the fact that Tamika is stepping up and voicing her creative juices, expressing herself in regards to the show that they're going to produce and perform. Okay, next we have Taj is at her condo, and they're about to have another meeting, a group meeting with SWV and Xscape. And basically within this meeting, Tamika brings on Steven, and us as audience, we didn't notice until it was brought to our attention by Miss Candy herself that Tasha has a underlying disagreement or underlying rift between Steven. And Steven is like the creative director of the Xscape. He's the one that does the creative effects and all that other jazz for Xscape. And Tamika thought it was a good idea to bring him on board to professional accreditation and to making things happen, since Xscape is already familiar with him. And then, of course, with Xscape being familiar with him, he can get acquainted with SWV. But before the meeting ever started, Coco was like, hold on. Before we even start this creative adventure or spewing out ideas, are we still co-headlining or not? Well, Taj and Lily, I think Taj has stayed silent for the most part, but Lily, she was like, yeah, we can I'm all for co-headlining. And with Taj, it was more like, I'm for co-headlining too, but hey, it's whatever. And then Latasha just chimed in, and she said that, yeah, we can just go ahead and co-headline at this point. There's no need to having any more squabbles or disagreements about who's going to headline and who's going to not headline. Let's just keep it one level, on one accord, and co-headline. Meanwhile, you got Candy, Tamika, and Tiny that is like low-key like, hey, we still want a headline, but we're gonna let you have it for the time being. Because Candy, she was stating that it has always been Tasha that wants to make it seem like she's the savior of the situation and want to speak for the group in regards to certain situations, and they just let it be for now, as far as like co-headlining. But in the meantime, yeah, after they established that for the time being that there was going to co-headline, then they went into the creative factor of Tamika producing, giving out some ideas, showing some little digital graphics and imagery that could take place on the stage, along with Steven, and everybody seems to like it and so forth. And you can definitely see the body language of Tasha. She's physically there, but she's not, but she's physically there, but not mentally not there. And I'm pretty sure she was texting her husband at the time. in regards to Steven being there, since we are aware that her and Steven had basically cut ties not in the best manner. Okay, they left with unresolved issues. Okay, so but overall, it seems like everybody is on board, and Tamika brought up the idea of SWV coming out with their horses like in the music video right here. And Lily was like, no, we ain't finna do no horses, because fun fact, in the actual video of right here, I ended up being on a pony because the horse that I was with was not cooperating with me. So I don't want that right now. Oh. And then so on to the responsibilities that was given. Well, the wardrobe is gonna be Tiny and Lily. With the song list, it's gonna be Tasha, Candy, and Coco. And then the choreography is gonna be everybody. Everybody's gonna have their intake on there, or everybody's possibly gonna do their own little thing or own little spin to whatever choreography that is given to them once they go through the rehearsals. Okay, so up next we have everyone meeting at Candy's studio, meaning Coco, Jalen, and Tasha meeting up at the Candy Coded studio with Jo, that is the engineer, to discuss the song list. And again, Coco, she's just chilling, cool as a bean. But when it came to Tasha and Candy discussing the lineup or discussing what songs that they want to perform for as like escape wise, Tasha was like, Tasha, I know you got this solo gospel album going on, but can we get something? Can we just get a little something? Can we get a yes, I'll let's do this and blah blah blah. But other than that, Tasha was like, which was aggravating Candy, and you can tell it by her face, facial expressions, and the confessionals that she was getting aggravated, and that also even Coco didn't want to be there. And I'm pretty sure Jalen didn't want to be there neither, due to the fact of the tension between Candy and Tasha. Like, it's just going to be a never-ending cycle. It's probably going to take a miracle for that to clearly be resolved and not have no hard feelings. Okay, Taj and Tamika meeting up again, and this was at Steven's facility, where do a rehearsal as if they are in live action performance. And the fact that the building is shaped like a church fellowship hall, Taj was a little unsure of coming in the building, but once you walk in, it's like a total mini stage. And I was like, oh my gosh. Now, what I like about this segment here of Taj and Tamika meeting up with Steven, it just shows the creative nature of Steven and where people could go and rehearse at. Like, it has the screens as if you're on the stage, and also the with him using the AutoCAD. When I mean AutoCAD, is like an engineering software where the graphic designers can basically draft up houses and stages and all that stuff, and people can, and when they're presenting it to the people, can actually visualize what they're about to see. Take for instance, for example, as you're looking for you're looking for an apartment and you're looking at the floor plan of the apartment. That's basically what AutoCAD is basically the digital blueprint of a house or an apartment. Okay, so yeah, I thought it was pretty cool that he was able to show Taj and Tamika of what the stage will look like and some features, and also with them in the stage placement of the graphic or the presentation that he was given to them. I thought that was a really neat feature, to say the least, and that's just coming from a STEM girl. But other than that, I found it quite funny. What was the funny part of this element is each time they would name a technicality like lights or rain or horses and stuff like that, Bravo would add up the price, and by the time they reached up, by the time the scene had ended, the price that the technicalities that they were naming was at least about $206,000. And I'm like, well, obviously it's not in the budget for them to keep adding on to the budget like that. But other than that, going on to the next scene where Candy is meeting with Don Juan at one of her restaurants, and they basically have a short meeting, and Candy mentions the comparison between, as well as the differences between her Candy Coated Night Entertainment, where Don Juan is the general manager of, and how well oiled of a machine it is as far as running operation. And with it, she's dealing with the Xscape and probably other groups, but definitely when she's dealing with her group members, it's just like a tower moment. Everything is all out of place. People are not, you have some people that are in it and some people are not in it. She's just saying it's basically just too much at the time. But she also talks about how Tasha, when she was at the studio with Tasha going over a song list, she was not collaborating, she was not cooperating. And again, it's more like she's mentally not there but physically there. And then she also reflected on how each time Tasha would attempt to go solo, that she would act as if the group is beneath her, but she still keeps the group underneath her belt as a safety net, just in case the solo project does not go as well as planned. And that's when Don Juan had gave her this wisdom quote that everybody needs to take heed of and put it in a back pocket. And I'm gonna put that in my back pocket too, which is, don't make somebody a priority that makes you an option. And he is totally right on that. If she is treating the group as if they're an option, well, you treat her the same way as if she's an option, because obviously her heart is not into being in the group with anymore. Her heart is clearly in the inspirational gospel realm of her next exploration venture in getting her money and accolades in. All right, so follow up with the next scene with Taj and Coco and Jalen meeting up, and this seems like it was Coco's last call for someone to convince Jalen to stay in school, because this is a common thing in family households, to where you want one kid to go to school for something, you want another kid to go to school for something, you want another kid to go to school for something, and it's just to it's just to keep it in-house. You know what I'm saying? You have a kid to go in for business, you have a kid to go in for a doctor, and you got a kid to go in the lawyer. Why? Because those are three big things that you can have underneath your belt and in-house, so you all can stay within the game and stay connected, and then also still be prepared. So this is like Coco's last plea to allow Taj, which I'm pretty sure that Taj is like an aunt to Jalen, and to convincing him to stay in dentistry school or just school to become a dentist, because again, he's learning. Well, I'm pretty sure he sees the madness that is beyond. Well, I'm pretty sure he sees the ups and the downs of the music industry, because his mom went through it, and then his brother is going through it as well. But this overall, in a nutshell, this is just a testament that, hey, you can still pursue your dreams and have something stable underneath your belt. Okay, because the music industry, it has its highs and it has its lows, and you have to stay relevant to be in the highs before you not being relevant anymore. So it's best to have something stable underneath your belt and not necessarily, throw it out and while you're pursuing your dreams. And the example that she gave was Meg Thee Stallion. Okay, Meg Thee Stallion, she graduated from college with her public health degree, and I think she was majoring in something else too. But Meg Thee Stallion, was an example that, hey, she, even though she pursued her career, she still got her degree at the same time. And I'm pretty sure she is not in student loan debt neither, because the money that she earned is what she probably put back into paying off student loans. So yeah, I agree with Taj, and I agree with Lily. And I agree with Coco. And you can still pursue your dreams and have something stable in your back pocket. Okay, some type of trade, at least a trade. It don't have to be a profession, but at least some trade that provides you a steady stream of income, no matter what circumstances that you're in. All right, and that's a true testament to all college kids. If you're going to school, go undeclared or for general studies. That way it wouldn't be such of a hassle of trying to change majors whenever you change your mind. Go for undeclared or general studies. All right, because that's what I did. All right. Okay, now on to the next scene, and this is more like the last scene or the last bit of the show, which was Xscape being at the rehearsal, and they were rehearsing Do Your Thing, and Tasha's nowhere to be found. And on the flip side, you have Rocky asking for Tasha to calm down, and he has paper on the kitchen table, and it's basically her contract that she is basically signed, sealed, and delivered to basically go forward with her inspirational gospel career. And she had mentioned that this time around she'll be able to own her masters, compared to her being in the group. And the songs that they were singing, they were only getting pennies or just a small portion of the earnings of those songs that they sung. So now that she is in the gospel sector, and she'll be doing other projects, and I'm pretty sure she's an independent artist as well, she will be owning her records and getting royalties from that herself. Okay, so her hubinger, as Rocky say, also asked her, when it comes to signing this deal now, what does it mean for the future of Xscape? And that's when they went on and played the song Understanding, as well as Tonight, because those are the two songs that basically ended the episode. But that's something that she definitely needs to put thought into. Is she going to still maintain both being in Xscape as well as going on with her inspirational gospel career? Because R&B is her bread and butter, but now she wants to get some bread and butter in the gospel sector. So that's just something to think about for Tasha, because if Candy can do it with all these all these business ventures with Candy Coated Nights and Candy Online and OLG, the steak and seafood restaurant, and the list goes on with her acting career and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure Tasha can be able to manage Xscape, but it seems like she wants to end it all and just start fresh and in the end. Okay. But other than that, as the scene ends and concludes, Candy is basically at her wit's end when it comes to Tasha, and what she goes into detail about is that she is basically tired of Tasha making it seems like she is the one all be all when it comes to the decisions with the group, because each time when she's not there, it seems like that the other three have to figure out what they're going to do next. So now Candy has brought it upon herself to actually, tell the other groups, Tamika and Tiny, like, hey, yo, we need to figure out what we need to do just in case she don't show up again, and or not ever show up. Because at the end of the day, she's not stopping anything. We gotta keep pressing and moving forward, because we can perform just as the same as if she's not there. So they went, I'm pretty sure they're down for it, but I do have to say they cut up in them vocals on that last scene. All three of them, Candy, Tasha, and Tiny, they were down on them vocals. Okay, it's good. Y'all really putting your heart into it. But they did ask Sadie, was she going to ever make to rehearsals? And Sadie's looking at them like, I don't know. And it seems like she's not. But on the flip side, at this point, she's more likely going to just show up at the shows and not the rehearsal, because if she is giving off the energy of, I don't have to practice and I could just show up and perform, then at this point, let her do so. Let her do so. Because, hey, if she wants to act in that behavior, if she wants to exude that behavior, so be it. But at the end of the day, whatever issues, even though they say it's not an issue, clearly it's an issue. Whether you want to brush it under the rug or not, and until that gets resolved, then there definitely won't be no hard feelings in the end time. Because I don't care what nobody say. Just as much as they say there ain't no issue, there is an issue at the end of the day. Okay? And until the egos are set aside, until the root of the issue gets addressed as well, then maybe they can reconcile or just resolve it with no issue at this point. But other than that, yeah, those are my thoughts. That's my quick review. I hope this was a quick review, because as I'm looking at this clock, I'm like, this is not a quick review. But other than that, I thank you all for tuning in. And leave your thoughts in the comment section below on what y'all think about this episode. I feel like this was a buffer episode for the most part, because the real is about to come out in the last episodes, because everything is still playing out on social media, and it's just like all this back and forth on social media is taken away from the actual show in itself and just providing us the experience. But hey, it's a good balance for the most part between the messiness and the chaoticness of it all. But yeah, I'm gonna leave it right here. Like, share.